This year has been a very surprising year that no one could have seen coming, and this has spread to basketball with obviously all the teams now playing on Orlando in the bubble, as it has been called. And the Miami Heat have been one of the biggest surprises for me, and for many of you I would assume. Sweeping Indiana in the first round and then gentlemen sweeping Milwaukee in the second round, which was the huge surprise. And many people have been quick to point the finger to Giannis, but the stats don't back this up, as he's put up similar numbers to the regular season, which he just won MVP for. The only real change is his 2.8 less points per game, but this alone will not have changed the series outcome. One of the issues with me is how they are only playing Giannis for 30 minutes a game, which isn't even increased from his regular season games. And by Game 5, the Bucks had virtually accepted defeat, with Giannis not even playing at all. Another key problem was Khris Middleton, as he fouled out in 3 of the 5 games against Miami, and even though he saw a minutes increase from 29.9 to 39.2 minutes a game, he only averaged an extra 4.7 points per game, and his field goal percentage dropped a considerable amount, from 49.7% to 39.4% over the whole playoffs, and to 41.7% against the Heat. Now going back to Miami, their biggest strength is that they have multiple players who can score big, and they don't have to rely on one key player to win. For example, in Game 1, Jimmy Butler did pop off with 40 points, leading them to a big win, but in Game 2 he only had 13 points, but Crowder, Dragic, Adebayo, Robinson, Hero and Olynyk all had double-digit scoring games, and this has been the case in all of their games against the Bucks. But let's now focus on Jimmy Butler, as he is the face of this team. And after the issues he had in Minnesota with Karl-Anthony Towns and the rest of the team, it seemed like he was eager to stay in Philadelphia for a long period of time, but obviously this wasn't the case as he ended up clashing with Embiid and Simmons again there. So I was sceptical about how Jimmy would fit in Miami. And I think a big reason for the team's success is how Jimmy is the only big personality on this team. Hero, Adebayo, Robinson and Dragic, who are the other starters, are all quite humble players and are happy for Jimmy to be in the limelight of the franchise. And Tyler Hero himself has a very bright future, who I think will be an all-star next season easily, and an MVP at some point in his career. And next we'll focus on Bam Adebayo, who was a relatively unknown player at the start of this season, but has now been selected to be an all-star and is one of the key players in this Miami team. After averaging a double-double this season, he's took his game to an even higher level, averaging more points and more rebounds, but more importantly turning up when it mattered, as he had a game-winning block on Jason Tatum to secure Game 1. And this block can arguably go down as one of the best of all time, and I would support that claim. And now for argument's sake, let's say that the Heat beat the Celtics and the Lakers beat the Nuggets, so it's Heat versus the Lakers in the final. The Lakers will undoubtedly be their toughest challenge yet, and have lost to them both times they've played this year. And in all of the games that they play, both Bam and Jimmy are going to have to put huge defensive performances, as they'll both be guarding Anthony Davis and LeBron James respectively. In the first matchup back in November, it was a relatively low-scoring game, with the Lakers winning 95-80, and only 31 points collectively were scored in the fourth quarter. The key reason for this loss was Miami's poor shooting from 3, making only 17.1% of all their shots. Robinson shot 1 for 6 from 3, while Hero shot 1 for 5 from 3. With how they've been playing recently, I'd expect for them to shoot a lot better, and they'll need to if they want a chance of winning the finals. Their second matchup was far closer though, with the Heat only losing by 3 points. They shot 30% from 3 this time, which is a huge improvement, but I know they can still do a lot better. And Derrick Jones Jr. had a particularly good game off the bench with 17 points, and I'd like to see him be used a bit more on the offense. Unfortunately, the duo of LeBron and AD just seem too unstoppable to me at the moment, and I just can't see the Heat beating them 4 times. However, I hope they prove me wrong, and I look forward to this matchup when it will likely occur. For now, I'm going to predict that the Lakers will win 4-2, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to a Game 7, and honestly, I hope it does.